Hey, I want to share a leadership with you today that I think is just so important. It's the shift from hidden agendas to transparency. You know, hidden agendas create fear cultures, where transparency creates safety cultures. And in senior living, safety is culture. It's not just care. There's a tension I think that a lot of leaders feel, but almost no one talks about. It's the tension between protecting people from information versus trusting them with reality. Now, if you lead in senior living, you probably feel this tension almost every single day because you're carrying really important things. Things like resident care decisions, family emotions, staff burnout, regulations that keep changing, budget pressures, staffing pressures from people calling out sick. And somewhere along the way, a lot of leaders start holding that information tighter and tighter and tighter. Not because they're dishonest, not because they're manipulative, but because they actually care. They don't want to create unnecessary panic. They don't want to hurt morale. They don't want to say something before they have all the answers and make it worse. But here's the leadership that I think a lot of people miss. It's that hidden agendas don't actually protect your culture. They actually slowly erode it. Because when people don't have the information that they need, they almost never stay neutral. They actually fill in the blanks with fear. It sounds something like, I know Aaron's not telling us everything. There's got to be something going on that he's just not telling us. I'm just going to keep my head down and hope this blows over. They've probably already made their decision anyways. See, what you get isn't out loud rebellion. What you get is quiet disengagement, lower energy, lower ownership, lower emotional investment. And in senior living, that shows up really fast and it shows up everywhere. It shows up in things like turnover. It shows up in things like call-offs. It shows up in things like documentation shortcuts. And it shows up in family and resident tension. Hear me on this one. This one is big. They won't always know why they feel it, but they'll feel it and it'll show up in how they act. It'll show up in resident behaviors and starts to show up in your staff members who would normally speak up early if something's going wrong, but now they only speak up when something's already broken. But here's the shift. The shift is to transparency. I want you to catch this though. Transparency does not mean oversharing. Transparency is just leadership clarity. Transparency can sound something like, hey guys, can we all circle up for just a second? Now I'm gonna give you a little bit of a clue here. If you're not sure what to share, here's 4 things you can share. Hey guys, here's what we know now. That's number 1. Here's another one. Hey guys, here's what we don't know yet. Here's a third one. Here's what we're trying to solve. And number 4, here's when you'll hear more. All of those statements are like transparency signals for everyone. It's like lighting a bottle rocket that goes up in the sky and pops, boom. It's like, this is transparent. And by the way, if you're not sure what to share when it comes to transparency, you can always share the process. I know there's a lot of decisions that you guys make that you can't share all the information with everybody. If you're not sure what to share the process. Hey guys, can we just circle up for just a second? Hey everyone, come here. We're gonna do a little huddle for just a minute. Hey, I wanna speak to the elephant in the room. You guys know that we had a key leader this week that's been put on administrative leave. I can't share the details with you because that's not appropriate. Here's what I want you to know. A complaint came in. We take that complaint very seriously. We're going to be doing an internal investigation. That internal investigation is going to require us to ask some of you guys questions. But I just want to encourage you, if you have anything to share, will you please share it with us? Let's not share it with your team because we don't want to be gossiping right now. Our goal is actually to honor and respect everyone in this process. So I just want to encourage you, if you guys can focus right now, let's focus on our residents. They deserve our best care right now. That's the most powerful thing you can do to help us. Okay, did you guys catch that? See, the difference here is that transparency is saying, I trust you enough to let you see how the decisions are getting made. And when leaders do that, something really powerful happens. Are you ready for it? People relax. Not because things are easy, but because things are clear. And clarity creates psychological safety faster than almost anything else a leader can do. Because your team's not just watching your decisions, they're watching your posture. Are you guarded or are you grounded? Are you controlling information in fear or are you guiding people through the reality of what's really happening? See, this is something that I've learned coaching senior living leaders across the country is that teams don't expect perfection, but they do expect honesty, consistency. They want to feel like they're a part of something, not just being managed by something. And hidden agenda cultures create things like compliance without commitment. I want you to do this, but I'm not telling you why. They expect you to work without ownership. They expect presence, but they don't expect engagement. Whereas transparent cultures create something totally different. It creates ownership. It creates earlier problem solving. It values people who are strong culture carriers. And this is a really important one. It lowers emotional burnout. Just a rabbit trail for just a second. Burnout is almost never a byproduct of overworking hours. It's almost always a byproduct of emotional exhaustion. I'm discouraged from trying to make a difference and I can't seem to make the difference that I want to, and I begin to feel emotionally overwhelmed. That's where burnout comes from. But transparency totally changes that because it lifts up the trust between teams and departments and leaders. And this is the part I want you to hear the most. Transparency is not about telling people everything. It's about making sure that people don't have to guess who you are as a leader because they know exactly where you're going. They know exactly what your process is. And when people stop guessing, they start trusting. And when trust rises, your culture is going to stabilize. And when your culture stabilizes, you guys, everything gets easier to solve. So this leadership isn't just about being perfect, but it is about being intentional. It's about deciding in advance. I'm not going to lead from protection and fear. I am going to lead from clarity and trust. So as I kind of wrap this up, I just want to ask you, which one do you think you're leading from? Do you think you're leading from a hidden agenda, maybe by accident? Or are you leading from transparency? Chances are, if you've been leading for any amount of time, you've probably led from both. I know I've led from times where I didn't realize I was kind of functioning with a hidden agenda. And then there's been times when I've been amazingly transparent. But here's what I want you to catch as a leader, is that as a good leader, we should always be trying to adjust to get back on the right path, right? We want to make it our goal to lead from transparency today. And if we do that, and if we shift away from those fear or control, what happens is you can literally watch it start to lift your team and start to shape your team into that trust and into that impact that you actually want to make.